Getting to Varanasi or Tirupati takes a train ticket and a free weekend, but reaching Arunachalam requires an accumulation of lifetimes of good karma. You cannot step foot on this mountain without Lord Shiva's direct permission. According to ancient traditions, Chitragupta, the celestial accountant who tracks human actions, maintains a specific ledger for this journey. He marks a person's spiritual history into two distinct eras: the life led before visiting Arunachalam and the life led after. This chart shows the timeline of Earth's geological history. If we track all the way back to the early formation of the planet, we find a marker at 3.6 billion years ago. That is when geologists estimate the rock formation of Arunachalam was created. To put that in perspective, look at the mighty Himalayas, the towering peaks we typically associate with ancient mysticism. They formed just 70 million years ago, at the very end of the timeline.
Arunachalam existed for billions of years before the Himalayas even began to rise. This staggering physical age mirrors its spiritual weight. Scriptural texts state that taking a single barefoot walk around this ancient rock generates the merit of performing 1,000 Ashwamedha yagas. This 14-kilometer path represents a physical gateway to liberation, a location so significant that tradition claims the universe requires a cosmic invitation before you can even begin the walk. Notice the shape of the hill itself. While there is a massive, sprawling temple complex at the base, the primary deity isn't housed inside the walls. The physical mountain is the Shivalingam. The origin of this mountain is rooted in a dispute between Lord Brahma, the creator, and Lord Vishnu, the preserver. Their argument over who held authority purportedly plunged the universe into darkness. To humble them and restore light, Lord Shiva pierced through the cosmos. He manifested as an infinitely tall pillar of fire, challenging both gods to find either its top or its bottom. Vishnu took the form of a boar and dug deep into the earth. Realizing the fire had no base, he accepted his limits and surrendered in devotion. Brahma flew upward as a swan. Catching a falling thazambu flower on his way up, he brought the flower back down as false proof that he had reached the summit. That cosmic lie resulted in permanent consequences. Shiva decreed that Brahma would never be worshipped in temples, and the thazambu flower was banned from sacred rituals. To protect the earth from his intense heat, Shiva then cooled that column of fire, solidifying it into the physical mountain of Arunachalam. This diagram shows how the Skanda Purana describes the mountain's elemental state changing across 4 stages of cosmic time. It began as pure fire in Satya Yuga, shifted to gold in Treta Yuga, copper in Dwapara Yuga, and finally stone in Kali Yuga. To interact with this cooled fire, millions of pilgrims perform Garivalam. This is a 14-kilometer circumambulation of the mountain, walked entirely barefoot. But human pilgrims are not walking alone. The texts describe a hidden procession. Unseen Gandharvas, celestial beings, and ancient Siddhas walk the exact same circular path alongside the pilgrims. Because they operate in a different dimensional state, they are said to disguise themselves in the physical realm. Tradition suggests the stray dogs, the native birds, and even the insects are frequently these divine entities in physical form. The Garivalam is a rare intersection between the human and the divine, where a pilgrim's physical steps trace the same circle as the beings described in the Puranas. The clearest proof of this active grace lies in the story of Balala Maharaja. He was a devoted king who constructed one of the temple's massive outer gateways, but he lived with a deep sorrow. He had no children. In Hindu tradition, a son is required to perform final death rites. Recognizing the king's pure devotion, Lord Shiva promised that he would step into the role of the king's son and fulfill the sacred duty personally. This promise has been honored for 7 centuries. Every year, on the anniversary of the king's death, the main Arunachalam temple shuts its doors. The deity is carried out of the sanctum to the nearby river. There, the priests, acting as the embodiment of Shiva, perform the shraddha, the traditional death rites, for the human king. This deep personal intervention reflects the very name of the site.
Aruna translates to the red fire of wisdom, and Achala means hill. The sage Ramana Maharshi, who lived on these slopes for decades, declared this specific mountain to be the spiritual heart of the world. The name Arunachalam implies a specific function, the fire of wisdom consuming the ego. By circling this rock, pilgrims seek the dissolution of past karma, aiming for the liberation that ancient proverbs say is granted even by thinking of this place. If you have experienced the Giri Pradakshina, or if you are waiting for your cosmic invitation to walk the path, let us know your story in the comments below.